What would you do if a relationship broke down so badly that your partner kidnapped your child? Now, that scenario, terrible scenario, was what faced Ian Lomax from Bolton when his 7-year-old son was snatched while on a family holiday in Greece. You may remember that BBC Radio Manchester reported on the story. Christopher Lomax was abducted in 1998 by his Greek mother, 15 years on, and Ian has now been reunited with his son, who's 22 years of age, and Ian joins us now. Ian, welcome to the programme, mate.
Morning.
Just take us back. Tell us what happened, first of all.
Well, it all started off on a journey in 1990. I met a Greek girl in Corfu, and that journey led to love of her, deceit and abduction, which he was stolen in 1998.
Well, what happened when you say he was stolen?
I was on a family holiday, and the day after his 7th birthday, the day I was going home, she just went out and made a phone call and said that she weren't coming home. So I was just shocked. I went to the toilet, I was just upset, and I was vomiting. And when I came out of the toilet, the mother-in-law opened the door and threw my suitcase down the stairs and said, "You'll never see your wife and child again." And I was just in shock. I just walked down the hill, which I call the path of tears, a broken man.
Well, I'm just trying to put myself in your position. Did it not occur to you to grab the lad and take him to the airport, take him back to the UK?
When I went to the British Embassy, they told me I had to go to the police station and charge you with kidnapping, which I did. And then I started to look for him. I just couldn't find him. But with a day left, I had to go home with 2 empty seats without a wife and child.
How much help were the Greek police at the time?
They was fine. The stepfather came round to the police station and tried to stop me charging her, and he told her to go away. And but I made a few friends with the police over the years. Romanis is a very good friend of mine. When I was arrested with the Bolton Evening News in 1999, they was charged with the Privacy Act. We came over on the Granada that I was in the cells, but I wasn't. I wasn't, because I was having a beer with them.
Can I just tell you a very, very quick story? A mate of mine, who's an acquaintance of mine, he's no longer with us, but he met a girl, whirlwind romance, like a few days, got married literally within a few days. The day she had the child, and was able to leave the hospital, she left him. So he went through the courts, and she wouldn't turn up sometimes when he had visiting rights, and then other times the courts would enforce the visiting rights, so that she would say then that he assaulted her or the child or both. Then she wouldn't turn up again. He eventually gave up 3 or 4 years into it, and I mean, he died relatively young, and he looked a broken man at the end of 3 or 4. But he gave up. Why didn't you give up?
Because I love my son. I really love my son. I mean, when I came home, I stayed with my mother for 6 weeks. I couldn't go back into my house. And one morning, my suitcase was in the kitchen. He said, "Ian, you must go home and face your fears." So they dropped me off at the house. They didn't come in. And it was like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I threw my suitcase on the floor and I went straight to bed. And as I went in the bedroom, I could see his teddy bear in my bed and the nightie, and I could smell a perfume. And I slept all night. I was just broken out. In the morning, I came downstairs and I looked at all the pictures on the walls. I just took some aspirin. I wrote a letter to my mother and to my wife, saying I couldn't go through it anymore, and I tried to take the aspirin.
Tried to take your own life?
I tried to take my own life, and because I was vomiting, that's what saved my life.
When you went to the Greek court, so you've got to do all this literally thousands of miles apart, so you've got to travel to Greece, use the Greek courts. What was that system like?
I'd never seen a court like that in my life. They put me in a court with criminals. It was like a checkout. You had 2 lawyers and a judge from either side. I was in a queue. And when they saw one, a bit of shouting, and they used to press a bell, and the next one in the queue. I was just totally shocked, because I just thought, you go into a court, under the Hague Convention, they have to return the child to the country of residence, but the court was corrupt.
And how did you manage to resolve it finally?
I went to see her after the few courts. She never turned up. She was trying to make it in front of the judge that the child had been in Greece for so long now, accustomed to the Greek law, the Greek culture. So it was problematic from the very beginning. So I went to, the press took the story, and I saw a Euro MP, and he took my case to court in the Euro Human Rights Act. And they forced Greece, well, they couldn't change the verdict from the first one, so I got the access, and I won in court. I mean, they went in court the very first time, said I was gay, I stole a car, I abused her and the child, went through all that.
Where did you get the money from to pursue this?
The Bolton Evening News and the people of Bolton set up an appeal for me, and that paid for the expenses, you know, with the trips to Greece.
Because it could have broken you financially as well.
I spent over £13,000.
When you first met Christopher, how old was he when you finally managed to get to meet him again?
When he was stolen, I saw him 5 months after with a court case for 5 minutes on the steps, and that was with like a few frequent visits up till I won in. He was stolen in 1998, but when I won access in 2000, and I could see him any time I wanted then, summers, Easter, any weekend, any Wednesday, even though it was distance. I didn't have to have my passport in or anything. So, you know, I saw him quite frequently, 4 or 5 times a year, even though it was financially crippling me. I wanted to see my son.
How old is he now? 22?
22, yeah.
What's your relationship with him like now?
It's very good. I mean, when I got access, I stuck by him till I was 16 years old, and it was destroying him, saying goodbye. So one day I went to Eggin and I told him that I'm going to let him get on with his own life until he's old enough to understand what's going on, and he can ring me whenever he needed me. So I said goodbye on Eggin. I never saw him for 3 years. And I just got on with my life. And woke up one morning, decided to go to Greece. And I didn't tell him I was coming. I just rang him from a kebab shop and said, I want to see you. And he said, where are you? I said, I'm in Athens. And I went meeting him. And then he came over in 2011. He came over 3 times. He came over at Christmas in 2012, the first time since 1998.
I'm trying to put myself in your place. I've got my 3 kids, and I've been divorced twice, and both the mums, and that's Maggie, who's Dylan's mum, and Brenda, who's Siobhan's mum, were absolutely civilised, great mums, and we it wasn't working out, but we all worked hard. I can't envisage being in a situation where I couldn't have my kids. I mean, I still can't. I can't work out where you got the strength from to do it. I really can't, honestly, Ian. Where did it come from?
My mum helped me a lot, and the people of Bolton. But I wanted to see my son, and end of the day, I bleed. A man can bleed like a woman.
Yeah. When you look at things now, how are you going to round this up? What happens? Do you and Christopher get on with your lives now?
Christopher, he's 22 now. He's used to the Greek culture. But I'm in contact with him all the time. He knows that he's welcome to England any time, because I've remarried now and I've got a daughter and a son who he's met a few times. So we've got a family now. And
when's the book coming out, and what's it going to be called?
It's called For the Love of Christopher, A Father's Tale. It's coming out on the 31st of May.
Well, I really thank you for dropping in. Cheers. Thanks very much. Cheers.
BBC Radio Manchester.